Well, hello, I'm Bjorn Boer, and we are from the band Crown for a Killer, and you're listening to Shutter 60.
Well, let's start by kind of telling us how Crown for a Killer kind of got together and how you got involved with the band.
All right, how it got together. We all study at the same school,
Okay.
and it's the Metal Factory. We study metal music, and the first lesson of the first year was, it was just meeting each other and that kind of stuff. In the first 5 minutes, the teacher asked us to choose random people and just form a band. So we did, and we got together, and that happened to be a good match, and we stuck together ever since. So that's how the band formed.
So there's actually a school called the Metal Factory,
Yes.
and it specializes in metal music.
Yeah, all metal music. I mean, you can make rock music or whatever you want. It's very free, but it does specialize in metal music, and we have teachers from like Within Temptation and Arion and Textures and those kind of bands.
That is awesome.
Real cool. Yeah, very awesome.
So now I know, like a lot of metalcore bands out there, you've got two singers. So as one of the singers, where do you kind of fit in vocally into what's your role within the band?
Vocally, I do the clean vocals,
Okay.
high catchy refrains usually, and the other vocalist does the very harsh, extreme vocals in the verses and also in the breakdown. So we have a good mix, kind of like what Killswitch does, but we do it together.
Okay. Now, tell me a little bit about the first single, Conflicted Existence, and if you want pass back and forth and both talk about this, that would be fine too. How did that song kind of come together?
He actually wrote the song, so I'll give it.
Okay, cool.
Hey, hello.
Hey, how are you?
I'm fine, how are you?
Good, thanks. So I wanted to talk about the first single, Conflicted Existence, and kind of get a feel of how that song kind of came together.
Well, for me, I was trying to do something new, because I normally write kind of aggressively and deathcore-ish, so I listened to Killswitch a lot to get some inspiration. And then I wanted to do something new in the refrain, something catchy and something to boost the clean vocals of Paul, so he gets a lot of space and to do his own stuff. So I actually just kind of tried something, and on accident it worked.
Well, that's how it happens a lot, right?
Yeah, that's exactly how it happened.
Cool.
Like the core, that. Yeah. So the verse, like it's pretty simplistic. It's just like very fast and loud, and then I wanted to open it up a bit with a cool intro for the refrain, and it actually worked out pretty much. That's my story behind it all.
Okay, so now if you both want to pipe in on this one, you mentioned Killswitch. So what are some of the bands that you think are kind of influencing your writing at this point as a band?
For me, as one of the writers, Killswitch is one very big inspiration source. Architects is also a big inspiration source for me. Wage War, we also look at often, but that's only for me for the guitar parts and most of the song parts. But the vocal parts, what do you look at? Paul is looking at Killswitch as well, Meshuggah and Architects.
Okay, very nice. I got to see Architects for the first time live because they don't come to the U.S. very much, and that was back in May. So that was just awesome. I was so stoked to be able to see them.
Yeah, I think Paul saw them last time as well. And Killswitch. Yeah, they've been there. It was a pretty good show.
Yeah, they were on the same festival, a big rock festival here in North Carolina, and Architects was there and Killswitch, so it worked out really well.
Good.
Now, I saw some things on your Facebook, and it looks like you guys are in the process of recording for the EP.
Yeah.
So, how is that going so far, and is all the music ready? And And how's that working out?
Well, we are going to record 3 songs for the EP.
Okay.
And the drums are already done. The drummer did that last weekend. And coming weekend, so coming Saturday, we will do the guitar part. And then the week after, the bass. And then the week after, the vocals. So far it's going pretty well. The sound is already pretty good. And we have a good vision of what we want with the music. So that's coming up pretty good, actually, so far.
And when do you think that's going to be done and ready for release?
When do we want to release it? Yeah, somewhere next month. But it kind of depends on what we want to do with it once it's recorded.
Okay.
We want to add some small things or some backing things. But we try to do it the coming months.
Okay. Now, what about live gigs? Because I saw you had a show last week, the last of October. So how did that go? And what was the response from the crowd to the band?
I will give the phone to Paul, and then he can answer this question.
Okay.
All right. All right. So I understood it was about how the last show went.
Yeah. How was the show last week? At the end of October there.
It was amazing. It felt very good. We had a lot of cool bands supporting us. They all gave really good shows. A lot of people came out, a lot of good friends of ours. Also some more important people that could view the show. And we're overall pretty happy. The sound wasn't amazing in the venue, but overall it was a good night. It was our first official show. It was the debut show. And I think we should be pretty happy with how it went. Yeah, for sure.
Cool. Now, do you have any more gigs coming up, or are you guys kind of focusing on finishing the EP first?
Recording now, yeah, but we're also in the talks for some gigs. Friends of ours that also played our debut asked us back for a show, and we're gonna do some metal battles maybe, and that kind of stuff. So we're working on shows, but the main focus right now is on recording, for sure.
Okay.
Yeah.
Now, with so many new bands out there and so many metalcore especially, because it's like, you know, I want to say it's new, but it's not new, but it's newer as far as a genre of metal. And there's so many. So let me ask you a tough question. What would you say is going to set Crown for a Killer apart from all those other metalcore bands and make you guys something special?
I think that we are definitely a live band.
Okay.
I mean, the record doesn't portray the band well, but I think that if you see us live, we're also going to use that in our promotion. We're going to release some live footage because we're really energetic and we try to take the crowd with us. And like Killswitch inspired us in that way, they're so energetic. And
they're amazing, yeah.
If you go for another band, they're going to get you going, you know. And we have 2 vocalists, so we switch it off and we try to, even if the other vocalist is doing something, the other one will hype up the crowd or jump in the mosh pit or whatever. Our main ingredient, I think, is energy.
Okay.
And I hope that will set us apart. That's what we'll have to see in the future.
Absolutely.
We are focusing on, for sure.
And are you guys planning on this being a long-term band for all you guys? Is it kind of a good fit and something that you can see doing, say, 10 years from now?
For me personally, yeah. I hope the rest of the band too. We talk a lot about it long-term. Usually that's 1, 3, and 5 years. But 10 years hasn't been on the table yet. But for sure, everybody's studying music, so we are in it for the long run. And if we play a band, we always said we either go 100% or we don't go at all. So I think that for sure 10 years would be reasonable, for sure. I hope that we will improve a lot, make better music and evolve as a band, and only get better and bigger.
Awesome. Very cool.
Yeah. Well, hello, I'm Bjorn Boer, and we are from the band Crown for a Killer, and you're listening to Shutter 60.
Got it.